Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a age gap romance recommendation. This has been so highly requested by you all, so I am excited to finally give it to you guys. So I'm really excited. I have some great books to share with you. Age gap romances are one of my favorite tropes ever. I'm actually going to be doing a video of my favorite tropes coming out this week. But I love age gap romances. I love the forbiddenness, and I think they're just super fun. And I like both ways. If like the guy's older or the woman is older, I think they both bring trials and errors. So I'm going to share with you some today. So let's get right into the video.
About to leave, already packing.
Okay, so the first book I want to share with you is The Italian by T.L. Swan. I really enjoyed this one. This is a like mafia-ish romance book, and so our heroine, she is on a trip going, I guess, like across Europe, and she's in Italy, and she meets this guy, and he's this hot Italian guy, and she and him really hit it off, and they make plans to go meet up with each other 2 weeks later. And he never responds, and she doesn't see him for about, I think, like 2 years or something. And so on his end, something happened with his family, which makes it a mafia romance. And so then fast forward like a year or two later, and she's back in Italy for her job, and she sees him again while she's on a date, and he gets all possessive and jealous of her, and he never wanted to let her go, but there are reasons why he had to. And I really liked this one. A lot of action. It was really good. It's a lot more like light mafia, but I still really enjoyed it. I really like T.L. Swan's writing. So I definitely recommend this. And there is it's like light mafia. There's not a lot of like dark aspects, I'm pretty sure. I read this about a year ago, so some of the details are a little fuzzy, but I know I really enjoyed it, so definitely go check it out. The next book that I read is not for everyone, so I'm going to preface this, and that is Balance by Lucia Franco. This is a very taboo read. It was banned on Amazon, which I just find annoying. Like, why do people have to, like, go in and complain about books? Like, why can't people read what they want to read is my thing. Like, everybody should be able to read what they want to read. But anyways, this one is very taboo and very controversial. So anyways, let me just tell you what it's about. So our heroine, she is a gymnast, and she's wanted to be like an Olympic gymnast her whole life, and so she decides to go to this new like gym, and the head coach, she really likes him, and kind of gets infatuated with him, and they start a romance, and it's very taboo. Trigger warnings for cheating, and he has a relationship at the time. But the reason why I'm including in this book in here in this whole series is because I thought it was very, like, I guess, fun to read. I didn't take it seriously, because when she first wrote this book, our heroine was like 15 years old, and the hero's like 30, which I know it sounds very creepy and gross, but when I was reading it, it didn't read like that. So I don't know. I enjoy it. I take it with a grain of salt. I think this is a fun series if you want drama, if you want kind of like out of the box, like thinking. I don't know. But the main character did get annoying because of her decisions, but the steamy scenes were really good, and I did enjoy it. And the author revised it, so everything is of consent. And I mean, not consent. It wasn't anything about consent. It was about more age and stuff like that. But it's a very angsty, emotional book and book series, and I really did enjoy it. So definitely go into this one with a grain of salt, and keep that in mind, what you will want to read and what you don't want to read. But I personally really enjoyed it. I like this series. I found it very addicting and wanting to see what happened next. So definitely go check this out if this is something you would find interesting. So the next book I want to mention is Misbehaved by Charlie Rose. This is a teacher-student romance. And so our heroine, she kind of lives in this like bad part of town. She's like considered like a bad girl, and she goes to this like preppy school, and there's this new teacher, and she really likes messing with them, and so they start off a romance. I don't remember a lot of the finer details of this book because I read it a while ago, but I remember really enjoying it. It was fun. I think something happened with her like stepbrother or something where he got a little creepy. But I really enjoyed it. I do enjoy teacher-student romances. I think they're fun. And again, with all of these like forbidden books, not all of these will be for you. And I think definitely go in to any of these books that I'm recommending, knowing what you do and don't like, because I don't want you to go in for me recommending something and then you just hating it without kind of knowing that just what the book is about, and like knowing that it is some of these are more taboo and some aren't. I would consider this less taboo from some of the books that I've read, but really enjoyed it. Highly recommend. Really good. So now we're gonna get into some of the books that I have in paperback. So the first one I have is Unconditional by QB Tyler. This again is a lot more taboo than the one before. So this is our heroine. Her parents were, I think, murdered when she was younger, and this like policeman was there, and she really found a good connection with him, and she was like 5 or something, and he was, I don't know, maybe 20s, early 20s, and so she was like instantly was attached to him and wanted to be with him, so he became now her legal guardian. And now fast forward, and she's 18 years old. No, she's 17 years old, and she kind of has the hots for him and really, really likes him. And she absolutely loves him, like even more than like, I guess, like a parental figure. And he kind of feels the same way, but he never was like creepily about it. But this is definitely kind of a fun book. I don't know, I really enjoyed it. I like forbiddenness when it's very taboo and it's kind of like you're in this own world, and I really enjoyed it. I really need to read more QB Tyler's books. This was so much fun. I loved the forbiddenness. The age gap was incredible, and I just love this book so much. Okay, so I might have said that this video is forbidden romances, but it's actually age gap, so sorry about that. But all of these, I guess with age gap, it does come with like forbiddenness. So the next book, I had to include this in here, and this is an absolute staple, and that's Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. So this book, I feel like a lot of people again know what this book is about. It's very hyped, but I love it so much. So this one, our heroine, she's kind of having a rough time with her boyfriend, and they need a place to stay, so they're going to stay with his dad. And so on the night of her birthday, she goes to see this movie, and she sits next to this super hot like older guy, and they instantly kind of have this like connection, and they both like 80s movies and just really connected. And so then the next day, when she went to go stay and like bring her stuff, she found out that that guy is her boyfriend's dad. And so basically this is a boyfriend's dad romance, and so she gets with her boyfriend's dad, but things lead up to it, and it's really slow burn in the beginning, and they both like don't want to cheat. Like they never thought of any of them, like her doing anything with him or him doing anything with her while she was with her boyfriend still, and there is cheating involved, but not on her part. And so I just wanted to put that in here, and I love this book so much. Jordan and Pike, Jordan's our heroine and Pike's our hero, and Pike is just this like gorgeous zaddy, and I love him so much. And he is just really overprotective over Jordan, but he was never like creepy towards her or weird in any way. and their age gap is perfection. It's just, it's so good, and I love Penelope Douglas, as many of you know, so highly, highly recommend this one. Always will and always have loved this book, so definitely go check it out if you haven't already. So our next book is called The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. I read this recently for a reading vlog, and this is our heroine. She recently just got divorced, well, because she saw her husband cheating on her, and so she kind of wants to get into a new life and kind of get back in the dating scene and stuff like that. So one day while she's at her pool, she decides to just like try something different, and so she just is fully nude, just laying out by the pool, and the pool boy comes in and sees her, and some things happen, and they get together, and it's really, really good. And she's actually a like publicist, I think, for singers and people, upcoming artists. And so he actually, Troy, our hero, he is really into music, but he doesn't think it's like a real career that he could have, and so she kind of helps him with that. And there's also some taboo-ness where he's like maybe like 20 years younger than her, and she's in her 40s, and he's in his early 20s, and he is the son of her best friend, so that's another like taboo aspect. But I really loved it. And I feel like I said this in that reading vlog too, that his character really brought a freshness, because I feel like we always see the point of view of somebody who's like that new adult-ish age, but we don't get to ever really see like a bird's eye view of somebody at that age range where it's not like our main character, like we're reading it through their eyes. And it was really refreshing, and I really liked it, so definitely go pick this up if you haven't. It's a great fun age gap romance. Okay, so this next book I'm actually rereading right now. I love the Fall of Men series by Gianna Darling. So this is the third book, but you could definitely read it out of order if you wanted to. I actually started with the second book first, and then I actually read the second book, the third book, and then the first book. But this is about our heroine Harley Rose and Lionel Danner, Lion. And so she has always loved Lion, and he has always really admired her and loved her too, but there's never been like a time when they could be together. And she's also just very stubborn, and she is the daughter of Zeus, which is the prez of this MC club. So anyways, the beginning starts off with her killing her boyfriend, and Lion is a cop, and so he helps her like figure that stuff out, and then she decides to go and be like a secret spy on her own to get intel on her ex-boyfriend's motorcycle club, because they're doing some shady business and trying to mess with like the Fallen MC, which is her dad's motorcycle club. And so she's going undercover, and like Lion is undercover too, and so it's really good. There's also like BDSM in this one too. Lion is into that, and I really liked it. There's lots of action that happens in this book, and I really like to see Harley Rose's character. She's got that like bad girl vibe, and I really enjoyed that. And I just really love this whole series, so definitely go check it out. I think like all of the books in this series are age gap romances, so you could choose any of them, but I wanted to include this one because I'm reading it right now. But definitely go check this series out. It's incredible. It's so good. And if you're iffy about motorcycle romances, it's a lot like, I always imagine it as like, you know, like fantasy books, but modern day kind of things, like fighting scenes and stuff like that, which is just so random. But anyways, love this book. Definitely go check it out. You don't really have to read this in order, but for some of the other books, like the first 3, you don't have to read in order, but for later books, I would if I were you. Alright, so another staple, and this is Colti by Maddest Obsession. This is an amazing book. So this is an age gap romance, of course, and our heroine, she is a pro soccer player, and her idol, this guy that she has loved like her whole childhood, is going to be, I guess, her assistant coach or her new coach, and she's absolutely terrified. She wants to make such a good impression on him, and he instantly doesn't like her, and they get off on the wrong foot. And so it's kind of like hate to love and then friends to lovers slow burn, and it's amazing. And so he's definitely a grumpy hero, and they both kind of get together and start this really beautiful friendship, and it kind of blends into a romance, and he kind of like gets in there first, like he makes the first move, which I really thought was really cute. And there's just so many cute, amazing scenes in this book that I love and hold dear to my heart, and Maddest Obsession is one of my favorite authors ever. This book is just so good, and there's just so many good moments in this book, and it's definitely chunky, but it is worth this like the length, I guess. But I highly recommend this one of the best age gap romances I've ever read, so definitely go check it out. Alright, so this next book is called Lawless, and that is by T.M. Frazier, and so this is another motorcycle romance book. And so our heroine, she kind of has a really bad home life, and her mom is kind of like, she's just, she's very just, she has a lot of struggles, especially with mental illness, and her dad is trying to help, but it's not like working that well. And so something happens where her mother ends up dying, and her father, and she's kind of left all alone. And so when she was younger, she was working at like a gas station, and this guy came in with his friend and tried to rob the gas station, and they ended up not doing that. And so this guy gave her his ring or his necklace or something and said, if you ever need anything, use this coin or show this coin to this motorcycle club, and I'll help you out. It's like kind of like a favor that he was going to give her. And so she decides to take him up on that, and she goes to the motorcycle club, and some bad things happen to her, and they alert the guy who gave her this, and that is Bear, and he kind of takes it on himself to take her under his wing and take care of her. And so it's really good, very dark. A lot of things are happening in this book, and this whole series is really good. I started with this one first and then read the King series, not like the King series, but the first two books. But I really enjoyed it, very dark, age gap, really, really loved it. Definitely highly recommend this one. It's so good. Alright, so this next one is one of my favorites of all time, and this is Close Quarters by Kenny Steiner. This is a like travel age gap romance, and so our heroine, she is a photographer, and she decides to go with her boyfriend on this trip around the Mediterranean Sea, and she was going to go off on her own, but then she sees the like owner of this yacht that her boyfriend's going to work on, and he decides to keep her on the yacht with her boyfriend, and she's going to take some like pictures for his business, which is basically he just wanted her to stay on the yacht. I mean, she does take pictures for him, but it's not like he needed her there. And so they instantly kind of had this chemistry, and it's really, really good and angsty. And then her boyfriend's doing some sussy stuff, and so some things happen where they end up starting a romance, and it's really good. There's definitely like emotional cheating in this one and real cheating, but the real cheating isn't on her part. But I really enjoy this one because there was so much like travel in this book, and it was very atmospheric, and I just loved how much our hero wanted her. Like, he desired her, he wanted her, and her boyfriend didn't really want her, like desire her, and I just really love that about his character, and he just knew what he wanted, which I really enjoyed and found super hot. So definitely go check this one out if you haven't. This is one of my favorites from Kenny Steiner. It's one of her newer books, and I highly recommend. So good. Okay, so this next one is by Kalia Reed, and I really love Kalia Reed. She's an amazing historical romance author, and so this book is set in like the early 1900s, like 1920s, 1920s. This one is set in 1920s, and so our heroine has always loved our hero her whole life. And she just kind of felt defeated, like she knew she was never going to be with him, and so she decided to go off and get married, and things didn't work out with her marriage, and so she's back in town, and she decides to crash his wedding, and things go off from there. And he still has feelings for her, but he knows he should marry this woman, and so I really, really enjoyed this one. And so what happens is he does end up getting married to her. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but anyways, she kind of has to deal with those feelings, and then they kind of rekindle their feelings for each other, and we see parts of their past together, of them growing up, because he's also her brother's best friend. And it was really interesting, and also she had a working job, which was really cool, because in this time period, especially for like elitist women, they didn't really have jobs. They were just kind of supposed to get married and have kids and tend to the house, and she got a job, and that was really cool seeing that. And a lot of twists and turns happened at the end. This is a second chance, angsty, emotional, like love triangle romance. I loved it so much. I cannot wait to read the second book for this one. It's just so good. I love Kelly Reid's writing. She's amazing. Her other series is a time travel romance. It's called the Surviving Trace series, I think. That one's very good too. But definitely go check this one out. It's really, really good. I love it. Alright, so this next book is called The Maddest Obsession by Daniel Lowry, and this is a mafia Russian bratva romance. And so our heroine, she's kind of like a baddie, and she has been married a bunch of times for money and stuff, and kind of like the mafia society has pushed her to do those things, and she's like addicted to drugs and alcohol and all this stuff, but she kind of uses it to mask her pain. And our hero, he has always really looked out for her and kind of loved her from afar. But he is like kind of a ruthless man, and he is actually an FBI agent, and he secretly has an identity that I can't say because it'll spoil some things. But he is so overprotective of her, and when they finally let each other in, because they're both so stubborn, it's magic. It is so good. The first and second book of this series is amazing. I didn't really like the last book that much, but this is a great mafia age gap romance. Super angsty, really, really good. Kind of second chance, but I really enjoyed this one. In the last book, I had to include this one, and that is Something in the Way by Jessica Hawkins. Y'all, this Something in the Way series is incredible, and if you haven't read it, you need to. It's amazing. And so our heroine, this love spans years, and it starts in the 90s, the early 90s. And so our heroine, she sees this guy at this construction site right next to her house, and she's like, wow, he's the most beautiful man I've ever seen. And she instantly kind of just feels this like infatuation with him and wants to know him. And so she is 16 and he is in his early 20s, I think. And so she tries so hard to make him see her as not like a little girl, but he still does. And so then her older sister sees him, and that's where things start off. And her whole like thing throughout this book and the series is that she saw him first, not her sister. And so her sister kind of swoops in and tries to take him from her and be with him, and he lets her because he knows he can't be with Lake, which is our heroine's name, because of societal standards with age gap things, and well, also just laws. And I will say that nothing like between them happens while she is underage. But this whole series is just so beautiful, and both of their loves for each other is amazing. And I feel like when some people describe this book, it's like saying that he was kind of like oh, like he's just like dumb and ignorant and he doesn't know what's happening, like that the sister's kind of like luring him in, but he does, and he's letting it happen because he knows he can't be with Lake. And it just breaks your heart. And it's just never the right time for them, and I really felt that. But then when it is, it's incredible, it's amazing. And just like there were so many things stopping them in this book, in this series, and then when they finally get together, it's amazing. So I highly recommend this whole series. It's a great age gap romance. I will say nothing really between them happens in the first book. It kind of just sets up the scene, but it's crucial to the story and crucial to their romance. And I just love this whole series so much. Super emotional, so get ready with the tissues, but it is well worth those tears because it's a beautiful love story, and I feel like everybody should read this one. Alright, so that is the end of this video. I want to thank you so much for watching it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and definitely down below give me some tropes or recommendation videos you would like me to do, because I love your guys' input. And I hope you have a good day wherever you are, and I will see you guys later.